What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam whatsoever. You're gonna get hit with an arrow in the knee and no longer going to be able to be an adventurer. Yeah, that's right, that would be very unfortunate, so I would just press the like button. Real talk though, guys, I've been in my neighborhood for a little bit now, and I think I found a neighbor of mine who I haven't had any problems with yet, but he unironically thinks he's a wizard and is fighting everybody in the neighborhood currently over Halloween decorations, and when somebody like that exists, you know I'm just gonna have to talk about it. It's my duty as a YouTuber, you know? So without further ado, let's get right into the video.
It's so good, it's not good. Nice racking her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million. Swear I'm a little drunk, but it's a hell of a feeling. Got so.
Alright, so I've been in my neighborhood for a bit now, and most people have been really cool to me, which is great, considering in my last neighborhood I had to deal with a crazy lady who hated the fact that I was a YouTuber, even though that was like kind of my job and was constantly just causing me problems. So, the fact that everybody so far has been really cool to me, I genuinely appreciate. And as you guys know, it's getting a little bit closer to Halloween, so Halloween decorations are starting to get put up, and in my neighborhood there's this cool trail that I go skating on basically every morning right when I wake up because, I don't know, it's just a good way to wake up, bro. You kind of like get that dog face 420 vibe from TikTok where he's just skating around with the cranberry juice. It's just fun to just skate around in the morning and not worry about anything. And, as I've been skating around recently, I've been seeing more and more houses kind of decked out for Halloween, which is exactly what you expect, right? And the other morning I'm skating around and I see some commotion in one of the driveways and I'm like, oh, maybe someone's putting up decorations. I'm out pretty early, so usually I don't see a whole lot of people doing stuff, and as I get closer, I see that it's a man just like furiously hitting on an inflatable Halloween decoration. And I don't mean hitting on in the way of like, hey baby, let me get them digits and maybe get you a TikTok later. Like, I'm talking about he is actually taking his fist and just punching a inflatable Halloween decoration. So obviously, I kind of skate a little bit slower and just wanted to get an idea of what was going on, because it's not every day you see a grown man fighting an inflatable. That's just not normal 2020 lingo, I guess. I mean, genuinely, I shouldn't write it off. This year has been a train wreck everywhere else. I shouldn't be surprised that some people out there are getting to the point where they're like fighting inanimate Halloween decorations, but hey, it wasn't something I expected to see. So as I slow down and kind of start to pay more attention, I can see that he's also yelling at it. And to give you an idea of what this looks like, it's like a 7-foot tall inflatable skeleton, and it's almost designed like one of those things from the used car lots where they just kind of wiggle side to side. Like, it's a very silly Halloween decoration. It's not evil, it's not menacing, it's like a giant animated looking skeleton thing that just wiggles because there's air flowing through it. It literally could be used to sell you a car. That's how corny this decoration looks. And so when I'm seeing this grown man hitting it, I'm like, oh, my headphones are making it so I can't hear anything. So I take out my headphones and I hear him just yelling at this inflatable thing. And what he's saying is just incoherent babbling. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's saying words and he's saying them in order, and yeah, I guess they're a sentence, but basically what he's spewing out is that this skeleton is opening portals to other dimensions, and because skeletons are a symbol of death, it's praising the god of death. So by having a inflatable skeleton on your lawn, you're like opening portals to other dimensions for the god of death to come through, is what he's yelling at this while he's fighting it. And he doesn't know that anyone's around. Like, I was pretty far away. He's just yelling this incoherently at this inflatable skeleton while he's fighting it. So imagine seeing a grown man fighting something you expect to see on a used car lot while he's screaming that it's opening portals to interdimensional demons and like, you know, he's sounding like a mom from the 80s with way too much free time on her hands who's like playing records backwards, trying to hear stuff that sounds evil. I can't believe that the culture really just let that happen. Like, genuinely, back in the 80s, all these moms were playing records backwards and pretending to hear hidden messages in them and saying it was gonna make kids do evil. Like, yeah, we should have known these people were hearing things when they were listening to music backwards and expecting it to make sense. Sorry, Karen, but that's just bizarre. Anyways, that's like the level of crazy this guy sounds like, screaming at this Halloween decoration for opening portals to other dimensions, because if that was true, we would be screwed by now. Like, even if you are fighting the good fight, right, you really think that Halloween is gonna open a portal to another dimension. This one inflatable skeleton in particular is the one that just is doing it way more than all the others. Every other person's giant inflatable skeletons, the 20,000 of those that they sold at Home Depot, nah, those don't matter. Just this particular skeleton in your neighborhood is the one that's interacting with the demon, sure. Anyways, I'm taking this all in while I'm just slowly skating by and pretending not to be looking, because I've learned my lesson now. I've gotten a little bit older, and I realize that if the crazy people catch you staring, chances are their anger is going to shift on you. And when, like, this dude is just rambling about dimensions, it's better to just not have him think that I'm paying attention. So I just I'm not filming it or anything, I'm just kind of watching it as I skate by. So I go home and I'm just kind of sitting there with this information, thinking about it all day, and I decide that the next morning I'm gonna have to skate by and just give it a little bit closer of a look. Like, I'm not gonna hop anyone's backyard or anything or go in anyone's front yard, but like, I kind of gotta get a little bit closer and see what's going on, because I was pretty far away. Maybe the decoration like plays music or something and it had kept him up all night. I'm thinking that I have to be missing something, right? Because I just don't feel like people that are rational exist and can function. Because that's the thing, is like, you know, the dude has a house, he clearly has a job. Like, how the heck is this dude saying that there's interdimensional portals opening and also functioning? So I'm thinking that I have to have missed something. There's something that I clearly just like was not paying enough attention to. So I decide I'm just gonna skate back by that area the next morning and just kind of pay a little bit closer attention and see if I can like hear anything, because the decoration did look expensive. Like, it didn't look like something that they were gonna just take down because their neighbor got mad, you know? It looks like this dude had put a hefty amount of his ego in wanting to be the best decorated house for Halloween on the block, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Like, this dude really went to a used car lot and bought one of those inflatable things and said, I'm making this spooky. Like, that's the level of dedication this dude had to Halloween decorations. So if it was playing noises or something, I don't know, maybe fighting the inflatable really was his only option. So the next morning comes and I head over there and I'm just trying to kind of pay some more attention to the surroundings, like a detective in Among Us. Anyways, the next morning, this inflatable skeleton is on, like, the other side of the house that had its yard. So I'm assuming that the guy that was fighting it was the neighbor on the other side, because they didn't unplug it, they had just moved it. So maybe he had come home, seen that his skeleton had a couple of black eyes, and had a very passive-aggressive note from his neighbor, and kind of realized, like, oh, this guy really doesn't like this. I don't know. So I just kind of figured that it was the neighbor. And I don't know why you would get mad at a used car salesman prop on your side of the land that not yours, but whatever, I guess moving it was the right thing to do. And the house that's to the left, which was the side that he was fighting it on, is like done really creepy, almost like a vampire. Every single window is like blacked out. And I'm not talking about with the shutters. Like, he had taken black sheets, pushed them against the window, so that way, like, you couldn't even see that there was a window there. It was just, like, black, which, I mean, maybe he thinks he's a vampire or something. I've seen weirder stuff, but, you know, everything is just, like, super blacked out. And I wasn't paying super close attention. This is all stuff I could just see from the road, but, like, every window is blacked out. And then I see that he kind of has a sign on his garage. So I kind of like get to the bottom of the driveway. I didn't go on his property because I was not trying to have some crazy dude come out and be like, why are you on my land? Because that just does not sound like a fun conversation to have early in the morning. Like, basically yesterday I watched you fight this giant inflatable Halloween thing, so today I was coming by to make sure you're not a crazy person, is probably way harder to explain than, like, you know, I don't know, just not getting seen. So I'm not going on his property, I'm just kind of standing there, and I'm trying to read this sign, and finally, after a little bit of struggling, because it's kind of dark, I see that the sign says something along the lines of, there's like the band sign, like the red no sign, and in that is a wizard hat, and underneath it in black letters it says that anyone with magical powers is not allowed within 200 feet of this house, and that the resident of this house has been granted the ability to smell magic powers by, like, some random long name from Old English, I don't remember it, so that everybody should stay away. And that's when I realize that, you know, this person is probably crazy. I know a lot of you in the comments are gonna be like, oh, dude, it's probably a joke, like, come on, it can't be that crazy, but we gotta put this together. First of all, the guy was kind of older. Like, he had gray hair. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe every girl named Rebecca in her 30s who swears she's a Hufflepuff would have some weird stuff on her garage about, like, how they can smell magic people. But some dude in his 50s just doesn't strike me as the type to be, like, throwing out, ooh, I'm a Hufflepuff, I can smell magic. That just, like, doesn't I mean, maybe it's possible. And you got to consider, yesterday, I watched him fighting an inflatable skeleton talking about opening portals to demons. So I already know that this dude is already a little bit weird. Like, yeah, I guess it could be a joke, but I don't know. I feel like when you start fighting holiday decorations, it moves out of the joke territory, even if you were doing it ironically before. It's like all the people that swear they do TikTok ironically, and then 4 months later, they're doing all the trending dances unironically, you know? Like, it's okay, just be honest with yourself here, dude. And I'm gonna be honest with myself, this dude is probably just nuts considering he's fighting holiday decorations. Imagine how confused his neighbors were when they came home and saw their, like, giant inflatable skeleton just half destroyed with a note from their neighbor being like, "You are personally responsible for opening portals to demons from the other side that are going to come through and ruin our planet. And I just want you to know that so you can sleep tonight with that information in your head." Like, yeah, alright, man. Maybe the Karen that I had living next door to me was nuts, but at least it wasn't like she thought she was a wizard that could sniff magic. Because people who are that crazy, you can't reason with them. Like, if this dude just decides tomorrow that his neighbors are witches that are trying to attack him, how are they gonna convince him that they're not witches because this dude thinks he's a wizard? You know what I'm saying? And that's what you gotta worry about. Some crazy people, it's just not worth dealing with. So once I realize that this dude thinks he's a wizard, which would be pretty cool if I did have a wizard in my neighborhood, I decide immediately to just get out of there and not have anything to do with this again. Because first of all, it's not my place, and also, once I read the sign and realized that this dude unironically thinks he's magic, it's not the type of crazy that's fun to deal with, dude. Like, yeah, some person who's entitled and thinks they're super important even though they're not, that's super easy to make fun of, and everyone has a good time messing with that type of crazy. But like, I don't know, this dude's gonna light my house on fire and swear that he was trying to get rid of the demons and the whatever. Like, nah. That type of crazy is just not worth it. And also, he didn't bug me. Like, I'm not his neighbor. You know what I'm saying? It's not my Halloween decorations. Yeah, I'm sure that it's very annoying to wake up to all your Halloween decorations destroyed, but they're not mine, and I'm not trying to go to battle with a wizard because of it. So I hopped on my skateboard and I start kind of like trying to skate away, right? And sure enough, as soon as I'm starting to get away, my headphones are off. I hear the door open and I hear like a "hey," and I turn around and obviously this dude is sitting there because I was standing outside of his house for a little bit too long, and he's kind of like, "What were you doing?" And so I said, "Oh, I was trying to read your sign. I didn't know what it said," which is the truth. Like, I wasn't lying to him, you know, but I wasn't going to say like I thought he was nuts or anything, because you don't say that when somebody's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he says, "Yeah, well, you're not magic, so you're good." And I said, "All right, thank you." And he's like, "Yeah, I can smell them if they're magic. You want to know the trick to smelling when people are magic?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, sure." Because at this point, I'm being extra nice to the man that, you know, just came outside and is now telling the stranger how he can sniff magic, because that's just what you're supposed to do. And he starts telling me all this stuff about how modern deodorant was invented to hide magic smells. That's why he doesn't wear deodorant, and, you know, he suggests that other people shouldn't either. But he could tell that I'm not wearing deodorant, and when people aren't wearing deodorant, that means that they're not magical. But I definitely was wearing deodorant because I had like just showered, so, you know, I was just kind of nodding my head in agreement because, like I said, when somebody's this type of crazy and they're like, the government invented deodorant to hide the fact that wizards live amongst our population, trust me, it's way easier to just nod your head and smile than it ever would be to try to like reason with this person and convince them that they're wrong, because they're clearly just out of it. So he's talking my ear off for like 5 minutes, and I'm being very nice the whole time. And finally, I'm like, "Hey man, I have to go. I'm sorry, I ordered breakfast. I have to be back before it gets there." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, of course, thank you. I'll see you again. And now that I know that you're good, you know, I won't be watching as much." And I don't know what he means by that, dude. I don't know if that means he's been watching me when I'm outside. I don't know if that means he's been like trying to pay attention to me and figure out if I'm a dark wizard or something. But I don't like the idea of him saying I won't be watching anymore, because I don't know what him watching ever meant in the first place, and that's just weird, dude. But whatever. Yeah, one of my neighbors definitely thinks that he's a wizard. There's not going to be a sequel to this because I'm just not going to mess with it. He seems like, you know, he's on another planet. I'm gonna let him be. I didn't say anything too identifying, you know. I'm sharing it with you guys because I don't know. What am I supposed to do, dude? I had to share this with somebody. I just can't have my neighbor coming at me telling me he's a wizard and not say anything to anyone. Plus, I'm kind of a fan of this neighborhood, and it would really suck to have somebody casting spells on me to get me to leave, because I don't know. know. The last lady swore she was gonna ruin it for me, and she kinda did, so I'm just not gonna take my chances anymore. Yeah, it's crazy, bro, but whenever I skate by, if I see Mr. Wizard Man, I'm gonna nod my head and appreciate the fact that he thinks that I am not a magical creature, because I don't know what wizards do to magical creatures, but he gave me the impression that it wasn't very cool, you know, like he would not be appreciative of another wizard kind of coming in on his turf by any means. Which, hey, dude, I get. If I was a wizard, I wouldn't want to have to be sharing the magical spotlight with anybody either, dude. I can't believe that I am sitting here in 2020 trying to reason with how a wizard should logically think about things during this time, dude. That is what my life has come to. Everybody said be a YouTuber, but really, you'll just end up talking about your neighbor who thinks he's magic on the internet. I also love how the neighbors just moved the skeleton too. Like, they've got to be so used to this, considering he was telling me for 5 minutes all about the witches and stuff, and the only reason he stopped is because I left. I can't imagine how many times his neighbors have to have heard the spiel about how there's so many magic creatures in the neighborhood that are, like, trying to take over, dude. That guy came home exhausted, saw his, inflatable skeleton all beat up, and just... Roger, or whatever his name is, dude. I didn't pay attention to it, but like, whatever his name was, definitely cannot be a pleasant person to live next to, and I'd rather just keep him on my good side because he thinks that I'm not magical. Genuinely, one of my biggest fears, though, is that Halloween's gonna come and kids are gonna be, like, knocking on his door dressed up as wizards, and he's gonna answer and be like, "Oh, did you not read the sign, bro? It says stay back 200 feet. My neighborhood's gonna be on the news. Local man fought a group of 7 5-year-olds dressed up as wizards because they were encroaching on his turf, and his sign that told magic beings to stay away 200 feet was not known as legally binding." Like, dude, I'm trying to avoid a situation like that. Honestly, it seems like the rest of the neighborhood has to know he's just weird too, because nobody else seems concerned by any of this. So, I don't know. This neighborhood's existed for 7 years before I showed up, so clearly they can't have too much of a problem with Wizard Boy if he still lives here. I'm gonna call him Wizard Boy from now on, even though he's definitely a man. Like, homie could have been my grandpa. He does have the Gandalf beard going for him. I don't know what it is about wizards if the longer beard just gives them more magical powers, but for some reason, they just really hate Gillette. They just hate to shave. I'm just saying, if you were really magical, you would probably have the ability to just snap your fingers and get rid of your beard, so he's probably not magic now that I'm thinking about it, realistically here, because if you're a wizard with a long beard, what you doing, bro? Like, you're gonna be tripping over that. I understand wearing the robes because that has to be comfortable, but there's no way that a wizard beard is actually sick, because facial hair that's that long, dude, cannot smell pleasant. It's gotta be a pain in the butt to take care of, and also, you could just trip on it, dude. Like, there was actually a guy from the longest beard competition who ended up tripping on his beard and, like, falling down the stairs. That's what happens if your beard is too long. So you gotta maintain that, Gandalf, alright? If any of you wizards are out there listening, give it to me. Scrubby's got the facts when it comes to wizardry, and that's just all there is to it. But, yeah, in summary, I was skating, saw my neighbor trying to fight an inflatable, paid closer attention, found out he thinks he's a wizard who can sniff magical beings. He talked to me for a bit, told me I'm not magic, and also that he doesn't shower or wear deodorant, which, is really concerning considering he's a grown man that probably walks around smelling like a mushroom farm, and not the good type of mushroom, like the gross kind that just smells like feces and dog poop. But hey, what do I know? Showering is just a way that I know to smell good. Apparently, if you're wearing deodorant, you're just trying to hide your wizardly stench, but that's the lessons I've learned today. What did you guys learn? The moral of the story? Usually stories are supposed to have a good moral. Here on the Scrubs channel, it's just like, I don't know, deodorant might be magic, it might not, I guess. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings about being a wizard. If you learned something from this, be sure to comment the word wizard down below, because my magic courses would be very much appreciated in the algorithm. Real talk, though, if you comment, it just helps the video do better and, like, recommend it, and, I would appreciate that. So if you did enjoy it, if you have watched this far, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment Harry Potter down below if you don't know what to say, because this video truly was magical. And then I went, like, the Disney thing to play. I'm Scrubby, and you're watching Disney Channel. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna mention this too. I do have 2 TikToks. I have @Scrubby Stories and @Scrubby. The Scrubby Stories one just hit 20K. It got like 16,000 followers yesterday, so if you want to follow that one, I would appreciate it. I just keep seeing comments on there saying that it's not me, but, like, it is me. I don't know what to say. If you're new and you're thinking about subscribing, you should, and you should turn on notifications, because I post videos like this literally every single day, and you're not gonna want to miss it, because trust me, dude, I don't know. My house is currently haunted. I have a neighbor who thinks they're a wizard. Weird stuff's going on right now, so now's the time to sub. And yeah, real talk. Other than that, be sure to check out some of the OG Sub Club merch and the Haha merch. They're both pretty fantastic. I've got the new merch collection design ready to go. I'm just waiting for the main channel to hit 2 million, but I can say that it does look pretty spicy. Other than that, my Twitter is just at scrubby_69. The Instagram is just at scrubby. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Hopefully you guys will be back tomorrow. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace. Oh, and the game is satisfactory, by the way.